So, sorry. Um, the mic was on. This is not, it's not necessarily looking good. The death toll is 16, but we don't really know because there's no way to go in and do an assessment of the damage so far. Also, these fires are starting to spread. The city of Encino, I'm getting reports from friends and family in the area. And also, I'm hearing about the city of Tarzana. Those are our duck off areas. If you live in LA, that's where you want to move to when you want to get out of the city. And the houses are really close together and they're just being wiped. The houses are being turned to like white dust. Cars are melting, which that should not be happening. A typical fire doesn't burn hot enough to make a lot of that happen. Not all fires are the same. So people are starting to ask questions. But let's hear from the news. This is a local Channel 4 news in LA.
Across much of the area, much of LA County, Orange County, the Inland Empire now has been extended until tomorrow. So as I mentioned, although you may not see the smoke, you may look down the floor and there's ash out there. So there's a lot of fine particulates that you do not want to inhale. You know, you have the smoke. Also, you have just the home materials, for example.
She's talking about the smoke. People don't realize this is a really large area from Santa Clarita to Palm Springs. You're looking at about a 4-hour drive. That's a lot of land right here that they're talking about as being covered. And it's crazy, you know, people are back wearing masks in LA. And I don't wear masks, and they got you back in a mask. And what's going to be next? Another lockdown. But this is actually bad news right here. And I hate to have to share it. I was hoping I was going to wake up to this being over, but it's not. It's expanding. So let's add deadly Los Angeles wildfires. New communities threatened as the biggest blaze expands, which is horrible. They think it looks really good, but this means it's still only 11% contained. The Eden fires in Palisades, so far it's 16. It's going to be a lot higher. I mean, a lot of those people, I mean, it seemed like those houses were just, it seemed like it was just instant, like something, it wasn't a gradual wildfire or brush fire that got out of control. Like this was an attack. I mean, we got hit. We were hit. There's no other way to put it. People are doing their part and they're sharing memes. And that's why, the title of this is, can memes put out the fires? Because the answer, I think, is yes. These memes are putting a lot of pressure on local city governments because they also see what the public is saying. Public opinion weighs a lot. I seen this video right here and just look at, are these fires selective? This is obviously not random. Look, for example.
Continue our coverage of the wildfires that are burning across Southern California. Stu, up in Skyfox, I have to remark on just the natural beauty of our landscape juxtaposed with the horror of what happened.
Well, most definitely. And this, we just see so much of it. We've kind of become numb to the devastation. We made our way all the way up to the Malibu area. Now, we've heard Gigi talking about how Malibu's been affected and Malibu's been affected. This is the first time we've actually been able to get up here to the shoreline and actually see some of those homes actually at the water that have.
How the fuck does a fire jump from the forest on the other side of the freeway clear across to the homes alongside the water? This over here should be gone. This should still be here.
And destroyed from the Palisades fire. We're making our way. We're going to keep moving along, and that destruction just kind of continues as we're trailing behind Skyfox right there.
Look at this. Amazing. How did this all go, but not the construction in the houses over here? And remember this word, you guys are going to hear it now. These two words this is coming. Eminent domain. This is all going to be taken by the state of California. This is communism, and this is where California has been going the past several years. So I don't know why we would expect anything less.
And it just goes and goes and goes. Every now and then there'll be a home or two that are standing. And this is also one of those things where we just, how does that happen? I really don't know. You've got a home right there across the street on Pacific Coast Highway between two other homes, leveled, gone. But the other homes seem to be fine. Go across the street, two of them or three of them are good. And then you have a row of just destruction after destruction and some of Skyfox in the shot. And it just goes and goes and goes. The fire department, they're out here. There's plenty of hot spots as we would just kind of looking around out here and flying the coastline. Every now and then you'll see some smoke up there on a hillside. Firefighters are out there. There's still spot fires that continue up here as well. But this is all the area that's been evacuated. Going to end with one more shot. Again, this one also, I believe, is technically still going to be in the Malibu area. But again, just neighborhood after neighborhood just leveled, and then maybe one or two houses standing.
Shot that was
Right there. Those are the ones that you're talking about. Those are the seaside homes that are off of Malibu, and they're just, all of them just are gone. Just one after another, leveled. And of course, I'm also kind of wondering, I know this kind of goes down another different rabbit hole, but, I've heard in the past that they weren't going to allow construction there anymore. And now that these homes are gone, are they never coming back? It's just more questions than answers right now.
No, they're coming back, but they're not going to be owned by individuals. They're not going to be owned by regular people. They're going to be owned by the state. Maybe Vanguard and BlackRock will come in and rebuild and put, affordable housing, homeless housing, and just build, tons of basically projects that are going to be subsidized by the federal government and cheap rent, but they will make all of that money. You got to think about it. In a place like California, you got a lot of people that have money. I'm from California, and the state is not getting their cut. These are mobsters that work in the government, and they want their vig. They want their cut, and right now they're not getting it from landlords, so they want you out. And if they couldn't get you out with the moratorium on evictions, then they're going to burn you out.
Friday morning, would you continue our coverage of the wildfires that are burning across Southern California?
It looks perfect, like something perfectly in a line just went down, like a laser, something with laser precision just came and burnt this down. I thought this was kind of funny. Because he has been MIA. And, I'm hearing that Diddy's home did burn down, and a lot of his neighbors, and, there were all these talks about tunnels and all kinds of stuff. I don't know if that's necessarily all true, but it's awful convenient 10 days before his files were said to be released, that magically all of his property just went up in smoke where they raided a few months ago. On the lighter side, these are some dank memes. These are some dank videos that are funny.
I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part. I'm shit.
This.
I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part. I'm fucking shit.
Videos like that are going to force this supermajority to eventually have to turn on Newsom. Right now, they won't. The black community and the LGBT, whatever the fuck, that community, those two communities combined make up the supermajority base for the Democrats in California, and they're not letting him go. They saved him. Those two groups saved him from the recall. But if enough pressure from these memes is out there, I don't think he's going to be able to survive it, but we'll see. It just depends on how long these fires go for, and if they can when they're out eventually, if it can be memory hold. I don't know. I thought this was interesting too, actually. Texas is deploying firefighters to California. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you ask the average Californian, they hate Texans because they love abortion. They would never visit. You ask most Californians, they tell you they won't visit Texas. They'll never go there. And it's all because Texas, we banned abortions here. So do they even really want help from a state that banned the thing that they love so much? I think we should do an opinion poll. And besides, I mean, there's New Mexico, there's Arizona, there's Nevada, there's like dozens, there's a bunch of states between Texas and California. I mean, why do they even need our help? Why? I mean, it doesn't make, I mean, it's a good gesture and I appreciate Greg Abbott for it, but do they even want our help? I mean, those people, they despise us. You just ask them. You know, this video, I did share it. I don't like the elitists from thinking, some people think that their house was spared, but what about everybody else? So you think that you prayed harder than them or something? I kind of don't like that, but it's just it's a positive story. But so far, so good. I mean, the house could burn down tomorrow. I mean, the fires are not stopping. I believe this is in Altadena.
Oh God. Oh my God, this is our street, you guys.
To see your neighbors' homes in flames and the anxiety of before you see if your house is still there or not. I mean, I just couldn't imagine it. Apparently they knew somebody in that house named Anthony.
I'm gonna put what?
That's their house. Still there. For now. Yeah, you might want to save those thanks for when this is over, because that house could be gone by tomorrow. It could be gone by tonight, by the end of tonight, by the morning, it could be gone. The way something is just zapping us and just, devastating us. Another thing that's a big problem in California is that we don't have community. So most people are not going to open their doors and let anyone come stay with them. Friends, families, people in need, strangers. You can't do it in California because of squatters' laws. You invite some people into your house and say they can stay there until, the fires go away, until the evacuation order is lifted. And what if they decide they don't want to leave? Legally, the police will say it's a civil matter and you won't be able to get them out of your house. Californians understand this, and that right there will deter anybody from wanting to do. It's just an unnecessary risk. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was in the Airbnb business for many, many years in California. Right now, I probably wouldn't take any Airbnb guests. They'll book a week. When it's time to check out, you're cleaning people to go by there. The door will still be locked. The people will be inside. They won't answer Airbnb's calls. And you know what Airbnb is going to tell you? Call the police. This is California. You know what the police are going to tell you? It's a civil matter. There's nothing you can do about it. It's California. So you can have some family members move into your house. They don't have to move out. So you got to be careful who you let in and who you help. Again, this is California. We don't have communities. We don't know our neighbors. So what a lot of people are already doing is they with everything they have to their name that they still have that wasn't in their home, they have it in their car and they're heading east to Arizona, to the 15 freeway to go to Nevada. Tons of traffic getting out of LA. Maybe going down to Orange County or San Diego, but you're going to have to find somewhere that you can find a hotel or accommodations. A lot of people are going to Arizona and going to Vegas first, and then they will be making their way to Austin, Texas. And I have a house there that's going to be for sale this month, and I'm probably 80% sure a Californian family is probably going to buy my house that I'm putting up for sale over in the hill country. So
what if there was a way to put out these fires without water or the red foam flame retardant stuff?
And that's the thing. Look at these videos. You know, there's people making different suggestions. At the end of the day, everyone's going to just go back to using water. But if they're trying new ways to put out fires, I mean, I don't know. There's nothing new under the sun, new technology to put out fires. Let's give it a listen. I do like this guy, Shane. I watch his videos.
Well, there is. There's a invention that's getting traction, but not enough, that uses sound waves to put out fire. It strips the oxygen out of the air and extinguishes the fire just with sound. So imagine this. You attach to the four corners of your home some subwoofers, crank them on full blast, boom, bang, bang, the fire can't touch your house. Now, airborne bass speakers fight forest fires. Here's a video you can watch on YouTube. Now, you may be thinking, this is so unrealistic, man. How could you possibly even consider such a foolish thing? But if we just allocated a fraction of the hundreds of billions perhaps that could be used to develop these technologies in a few of the many deep underground military bases with limitless budgets and boards of the most brilliant scientists from around the world. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
I don't know. People think that these are problems that could have been solved decades ago. There's a lot of money in letting houses burn and insurance, but even insurance has insurance. So apparently they are going to sue the insurance companies that dropped everybody. They're going to force them to honor their policies through 2026, and they're going to force them to pay people to rebuild. But getting the permits to rebuild, and it's not if it's going to be possible. The state's going to block it, because if they don't, then that would defeat the whole purpose of burning down all these people's houses on purpose anyway. I mean, this was all done for a reason, and it was not so they can just give you your stuff back. The people in Hawaii aren't getting their property back. I don't know why you would think that we would be any better here on the mainland. Hawaii is an American country, American state. Hawaii is part of America. If those people aren't getting their houses back and those people aren't getting their land back, you aren't either. I give it not even 2 weeks from now, you're going to start seeing fencing going up around these neighborhoods. You're not going to be allowed back in there. They're not going to let you close to the property. They're going to say it's a crime scene. And then you're going to see people protesting and mad about it. But remember, it's California. They don't have guns. There's nothing you can do about it. You're just kind of asked out. Like I said, you're being forced out. People are going to go to Fresno, maybe, but who wants to live in fucking Bakersfield? Nobody. People are going to be heading to Texas. Arizona is so expensive now because of all the Californians. People are going to jump across there. Because of Breaking Bad, nobody wants to live in the meth capital of New Mexico. So everyone's going to just be coming to Texas. It's far from California, but it's not as far as Florida. So you got to look at it that way. That's why a lot of people will be, unfortunately, coming here. I thought this was interesting too, actually, and I shared it. The California wildfires line up exactly in the same path as the California high-speed rail system that's proposed. And that is a good point. This is the rail system proposal. This is where you're seeing a lot of these fires, right? Well, in this area is where the PG&E fires were. This is the Central Valley. This is California. This is along the Arizona border. I didn't know there were fires there too. But all the way down to San Diego, I didn't know there were fires in San. This is not on accident. This is literally, we were hit. They hit us in California. We don't know who they are exactly, but I'm sure it's multiple groups that have their reasons. This is another video that gives that shows why this happened and how it could have been prevented, but it wasn't, and that was on purpose.
Well, this water thing, it's a regulation problem. As an example, I will tell you, in Madera County, they have what's called the East Side Bypass. It's a flood control measure. When too much water comes down out of the mountains, this bypass takes the water out so that it doesn't flood the towns. Do you know that the farmers can't touch that water?
Why not?
Because the state board will only allow you to take water if they approve your permit. It's got.
Imagine a board of people who can tell you that you cannot capture water from God that comes out of the sky. A board of people can literally write some bullshit on a piece of paper and tell you you can't collect rainwater. And you choose to live in a state like that. That's unbelievable.
Costs you $6,000 to apply. It takes you 8 to 10 months to get an answer back.
But the
Right,
rate is already gone.
It's gone. What farmers are doing today is they're putting pumps in the bypass and they're taking the water because it's what needs to happen. Now, they're not getting credit. So, we talked about the penalties. They charge $500 an acre foot. It costs between $2,000 and $3,000 a day just in diesel to run a pump. You have 2, 3, 4, 5 pumps going. They're spending between $6,000 and $10,000 a day to do this
Because
at their own
they
expense.
want to make sure that they have the water. It seems like you guys have lost any hope in our state government.
Yeah.
I mean, who still has hope in Gavin Newsom and the DEI crowd and all the lesbians in office? Like, nobody. How can you have hope in that? Obviously, they're not there because of their merits. They're there because of what they screw, which should mean nothing to anybody, but it does. I thought this was funny. I saw this meme. It shows somebody trying to package up some of the water and send it to California, but why? What are the Californians going to do with it? The Californians would likely send that same water to the Ukraine, or they would use it for a wet t-shirt contest at a pride parade. Yeah, I know it's too soon, but whatever. It was still kind of funny. I laughed. And this is funny too. Let's see here. So all this gay pride and all this gay power and all this diversity and diversity of thoughts and ideas, what fucking good did it do? How many homes were saved because of your diverse tactics and your diversity of sexuality and ideas? How many structures were protected because the person who showed up to put it out the fire looked like you? Fuck you. Ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. I can't even tell you how fucking ridiculous that is. But hopefully these California fires will reduce testicular injuries in women's sports, because the men will not be playing against women on women's teams in California no time soon, since a lot of these schools are burnt down and now they're moving everything to other states. So it'll definitely drop in California. Testicle injuries in women's sports. And hopefully that'll help. Let's see here. This is Shane again. I thought this was a good video.
Many people attribute the survival of a single house in an area otherwise decimated by these fires.
Now, how can anybody explain this? What made this house so special?
To luck or good fortune. But this woman made a video. It makes me wonder if there's something else that could be at play. But probably not.
So I talked to the owner of this house right here in Pasadena. I talked to the owner. The owner does not have a smart on this house, on the front part of this house. There's no smart. No smart.
This is also a going theory. They're saying that the houses that we saw initially that had those extremely strong blazes, remember they said they couldn't cut the gas off? I guess they cut the water off, but they didn't cut the gas. All the homes that blew up had smart meters. In the state of California, smart meters were mandated, and they replaced out our old meters, and they forced you to get a smart meter. Smart meters can be remotely controlled from another location, and apparently, I guess they can be made to overload and explode as well. That's what they're proposing is going on with a lot of these properties that are just extremely engulfed, and nobody knows why. Like, this is another example of a smart meter being what could have been the cause of this. It's this video right here. Let's see here.
We did get some footage that was sent to us by email, and there's some anomalies within this footage. And the first thing I want to show is this house that's burning from the inside first. And it looks like, the inside caught fire first and the outside looks still clean. I'm going to play it one more time.
Now, that can happen. There could be a stove, or, somebody who's a bad cook, or some idiot doing some trick for OnlyFans and their house kitchen burns up, but just watch.
This looks like it's a microwave fire that caused, induction of electric eddy currents through the metals and the wiring in the house, which causes resistive heating and ignites the adjacent objects. So yeah, when you see a house burn from the inside out, that's not normal. All right, and then we have another clip from this guy who is in Pasadena, actually, and he will say how his house, or at least his roof, was fireproof.
Any kind of build, remodel, anything, the decisions after the decision, and everything goes into it.
Oh, the small details.
You talked about the roofing. What about the roof? You said it was fireproof. So do you question what happened?
How did it happen? Because the roof was tiled, unless the fire came from the site.
He said his house had fireproof roofing because the roof was made of tile. His roof was made of tile. So tile's not going to just catch on fire if something that, like, some burning embers get on top of it. What he said was that the fire must have started on the side. Where would your smart meter be? If you look it up, a lot of people started asking to have their smart meters relocated away from the property towards the street, because there were fears that those smart meters can be remotely detonated from another location. And I guess there's a lot of people that thought that was a conspiracy theory, and now they're saying, wait a minute, well, how did my house just blow up? These are all houses that are just gone, but the trees are not gone. So obviously it's not what we think it is.
Yeah. And
His car.
yeah. So we also have a clip of his car. I'm going to show that now. You can see that the front passenger rim has melted, and it's floated about 4 feet there. And so that's at least 1,200 degrees. And the glass also appears to have been melted out of the car. I'm going to show one more time so you can get a good look. That's at least 1,200 degrees for the rims and about 2,700 degrees for the windshield.
And what's different with this car versus the other cars that we're seeing in these suspicious fires is the hood is still there. A lot actually survived that normally doesn't. But Porsches have their engines in the back. But it didn't look the same as some of the other ones. Like, the rims could melt at a fairly low temperature, but the engine looked like it still had a cover, and it looked like the engine was probably still there too.
You could probably get the rims to melt naturally if you use the right kind of pine or really high temperature wood, and you arranged it around the rim, and you had some sort of rocket stove type furnace setup. You could get the rims to melt that. We did.
He's correct. Like I was saying earlier, different items melt at different degrees. There's no way a typical house fire is hot enough to melt your metal or aluminum rims. There's no way. To melt there's no way these houses are being turned to dust. The last time we saw this, besides in Hawaii, was let's see here. On 9/11, they found cars that were melted that were not anywhere near the towers, and nobody knows why.
Look at these two cars placed on top of one another. I think when you think about the impact that these planes must have had, it's hard to visualize. Because everything else is in here. They show some remnants, literally inches that is melted together with other parts of the car. Moving over, you've got another car they moved here. Looks like it's been through a war. You can see the papers, all the
If you look inside their car, he's mentioning that there's papers still in there. The cars are burnt, the metal's melted, but the paper is still there. So whatever this was, it wasn't necessarily a fire because the fire would have burnt up the papers and anything else flammable. How the fuck do some buildings collapsing in their own footstep? How does that melt a vehicle like this? You know, to this day, there's no explanation. Nobody understands it. It still doesn't make any sense. And what we're seeing here,
It's some footage that was sent to us.
Also doesn't make sense. But you're a conspiracy theorist if you ask questions. Well, call me a conspiracy theorist because I have questions. I mean, there should be answers for these questions. It shouldn't, be something that is off limits to talk about. Oh yeah, this is funny. Collecting a check based on your sexual deviancy but it is LA. That's where all the porn is made. So I guess that adds up. I don't know if the Hollywood sign burned or not. So much going on with these fires. We forgot that they're trying to push these 4 new viruses or whatever bullshit on everybody. I forgot all about that. There's a lot going on. A lot. Oh, this is another ridiculous example of California bureaucracy.
You just wait till you hear this. The Santa Monica Observer is reporting that 60 Oregon fire trucks sent to assist the California firefighting is lacking smog certification. The fire trucks are being held in Sacramento for emissions testing. You seriously can't make this stuff up. How much smog is being released from the fires? When I first heard it, I said, no way. They're not going to turn away help. But it appears that they're at least slowing down the help. Will the Oregon fire trucks even meet California standards of emissions? This is crazy. Don't they need help? It's a temporary thing. Smoke billowing out of this, what's left of the houses, but the fire truck doesn't meet emission standards. This is crazy. California, y'all need help.
Yeah, we need help removing these people that other idiots put in power. That just shows you that they don't want the help. They want this to happen. They want the city to burn. They want the country to burn. I don't know if you guys have ever even talked to these people before, but they'll tell you, just ask. They want to watch this burn. They don't have children. They don't have families. They'll never get married. They're not, that's not a part of their culture. They want to see this all go. Honestly, I used to feel sorry for James Woods. I think he's a great actor. And then I seen his tweet and I was like, wow, he's one of those genocidal maniac people. So it shows James Wood what he wished for Gaza. No ceasefire, no compromise, no forgiveness. Delete them all. What kind of maniac, even if you think that, what kind of maniac says that? And then he has the nerve to.
Been crying or not.
Now he's crying.
Strength is what you are doing now and helping your neighbors and shining a light on the great, amazing work of all those firefighters and emergency crews out there.
You know, that's the thing. You know, once you wish death on someone else and once you wish bad on someone else, it can always come back to you. It can always happen to you. It's not necessarily those people. You know, it's what you're putting out there. You get what you put out. And it's a shame that, you know, someone with as much talent as him is literally wishing death on men, women, and children in another part of the world for probably a conflict that he doesn't even fully understand himself. Unbelievable. Oh, yeah. Does anybody got a tracker that can tell us how much of our money Ukraine is sending back to us to help with the fires? The LA fires are so bad. I've seen enough. We need to send $3 billion to Ukraine right now. Matter of fact, let's see that. Biden money to Ukraine fires. Let's see here.
So today I'm announcing that the federal government will cover 100% of the cost for 180 days. This is going to pay for things like debris and hazard material removal, temporary shelters, first responders' salaries, and all necessary measures to protect life and property.
That's a good thing. At least they're going to do that. It's going to be big business if you own a dump truck, if you do waste removal, trash removal. If you're in other parts of the country, California is going to be a gold mine. So if you can get there to help. But unfortunately, Biden just sent more money to the Ukraine. And I was actually going to bring that story up. The Biden administration gives $500 million to Ukraine in final military aid package. That was 2 days ago. These fires have been going on for longer than that. So, you know, and it's weird as hell. I seen that I was in the store and there was it asked me if when I was paying, do I want to send money to help with the fires in California? Why the fuck would I need to tip and send money to California when our government has 500 million, 150, 200 billion to send to Ukraine? We shouldn't need help with anything. We literally got it. If we got it to send to these other places, then we should have it to send to our own states. And if we don't, then that means we have to get those people out of power and never let them come back. I don't think another Democrat will ever be elected. I don't think that they can be without fraud. There's no way after what we've seen, anybody can support Democrats. Not in my opinion. Unless, you know, they have some other devious reasons for doing so. Let's see here.
Male firefighter isn't strong enough to carry out a victim. It's the victim's fault. This is a promo video from the Los Angeles Fire Department.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you.
This just in.
No, I don't.
Flames are way less terrifying when your firefighter looks like your cousin. But wait, there's more.
Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire. Which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
No, if you can't carry him out of a fire, you got yourself in the wrong place. But even though she's, you know, a gay with mental illness, she's still a woman. One thing about women, apparently accountability isn't necessarily something that they believe in, because if you look closely.
Period. Did the city of Los Angeles fail you and your department?
Did the city of Los Angeles fail you? Now, she's the chief of the fire department. She's the fire chief. She's supposed to say, I'm in charge. The buck stops with me. I take full responsibility and accountability. Let's see what a woman does.
City, it's my job to stand up as a chief and exactly say
There you go. Okay, yeah, I like it. Keep going.
Justifiably what the fire department needs to operate to meet the demands of the community.
Did they fail you?
That is our job. And I tell you, that's why I'm here.
So yeah, that's why you're here, right?
We need so our firefighters can do their jobs.
Okay, I like that answer. Okay, but what's this bitch talking about? What's the reporter talking about?
Did they fail you?
Yes.
God damn it. We almost had her, boys. We almost had her. She would have went down in history as the first woman to ever hold herself accountable for something that went wrong that she was in charge of. We were this close. And then another woman came out of left field and blocked our blessing.
Chief Chris.
And they both want to laugh so bad. They both are looking each other in the fucking face and they want to laugh so bad. And then they're going to go behind the scenes and scissor. So rough.
I believe the anchors wanted to ask a question. Some comments.
We do, Gigi. If you could please ask her regarding the Times article that came out that the Santa Ynez Reservoir was close to repairs and it was empty. 117 million gallons of water could have been used in this fight.
The question is about the Santa Ynez Reservoir being empty. There's been a lot of questions about that.
Sure. So my stance on this is when a firefighter comes up to a hydrant, we expect there's going to be water. We don't control the water supply. Our firefighters are there to protect lives and property and to make sure that we're properly trained and equipped. That's my position on this. So if there's no water, I don't know how the water gets to the hydrants. Please defer that to DWP or whomever controls that part. But I can tell you the resiliency of our firefighters.
So you don't even have an opinion about the fact that it's fucking empty? Unbelievable. Oh, man. I'm on live, but I have company coming over. Give me one. All right. We've been rocking 45 minutes now. Look, if you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, I'm gonna put some more videos up. I'm gonna hire an editor and I'm gonna start chopping these long segments up into more smaller videos. And I have some other opinions about some of this stuff going on that I want to share with you guys. I really want to talk about these two fucks. Because I mean yeah. But we'll get to them after, okay? So I'll be back on in a little while. And remember, we have a lot of new followers on the Safe and Effective podcast page. Thank you, guys. But follow the YouTube as well. I got some new followers there, and I appreciate it. So thank you.